So wild things that I have that have happened to me since starting my spiritual transformation, spiritual journey, spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it. Um, I'm being shared for the past year. I've been tasked to share my experience, and I think that's because more people are waking up, and my guides really want there to be other voices out there to let people know it's okay to go through this thing, because it's very difficult. It's very lonely, and it's meant to be lonely, um, and it's very trying at times. It does puts you through a lot of mental tests and challenges. So that's why I'm sharing my story. Okay, so a lot of things I've seen. So I'm going to talk about my spiritual baby in this part. So it's not a spirit baby. A spirit baby would be a baby, someone like you're going to give birth to someone, so their soul, or not birth, or however this baby's going to come to you, their soul is connected to yours. Or it can be a baby that you've lost and their soul still lingers around you. So it's not that. This is a spiritual baby. So let me explain. Let me explain him, and then I'll probably explain why he's a spiritual baby. Okay, so Mr. Noah. I first saw him last summer. I was doing a psychic reading for a client, and she during the psychic reading, I saw this little kid. Like doing this and giggling. He looked very indigenous, very cute. I called him a sprite. I said, he's here to help you along the way. I thought he was, when I saw him, I thought he was her guide. So I was new. I was, a new, not a newbie psychic, but a new psychic taking on clients at the time. So, I see spirit guides, spirits all the time. So having this little boy show up wasn't like but I assumed he was her guide, and I was channeling him. And even when I listen back on the tape, it's like so hilarious to me that I wasn't, I didn't recognize that he was mine. And I wouldn't, so I'm not doubting myself. I just didn't recognize. So he was saying stuff like he was here to help. He's here to help guide. He's a little trickster. He loves you. It was like stuff like that. So I was explaining everything that he was saying to her. And what I was explaining to her actually applied to her too. When your guides come in, well, especially with me, I shouldn't say you're, like, generalize it, but with me, when my guides come in and they tell me things during a client session, it's usually because me and the client have a shared collective experience. So I didn't understand. I kind of knew it, but I didn't understand it fully then. So I was telling her these things, and it was applying to her too. So that's why I thought, oh, this is, her guide. Let it go. I think then a month or two later, I'm also certified to do past life regressions as well. I was doing a past life regression. Same little boy showed up. I didn't see him this time. I saw him, but it was through her. So she was explaining this little boy. And she was, she told me his name, Noah Talk, how he was there to help her. We were trying to look at a past life. He just came out of nowhere, and she's like, this little boy is here. And I'm like, well, what is he doing? And she's like, he doesn't belong here, but he wants me to take his hand and go with him. He wants to take me somewhere. I said, okay, we're going to do this. I go with the flow, especially when you're working with spirits in the spiritual realm. And so he took her hand, and they went off, and he took her to meet her spirit family. That was cool. I was so excited. Everything was great. The very next day, I had another past life regression. Guess who showed up and said to my client, here's my hand. I'm going to take you somewhere. So this is the third time he showed up in a client session. Only then was I like, wait, are you here for me? I'm the common denominator in this. My clients, nope, the 3 clients did not know each other at all. Aren't even on the same part of the world. One was in U.S. I want to say U.S. One is in U.S., one was in South Africa, and the other one was in U.S. too. It didn't have any kind of group together. They were not together at all. And that's when I realized, wait, who is this person? Why are you here? Why do you keep showing up to my clients and taking their hands and like kind of hijacking the session, and taking them to these spiritual worlds? I'm not, I wasn't upset about it, but that was like crazy, right? And so 3 times. So then I'm like, okay, well, he's obviously here for me. I meditated and met him and found out exactly who he was to me. And he told me that spiritually, my spiritual self, and my primary soulmate, we had evolved so high that Source gave us the option to create another soul. And that's what we did. We created another soul. And he actually has a twin too. And during meditation, when he told me he had a twin, which was hilarious, all of a sudden things changed for me. I remembered and I was yelling, where is my daughter? Like, where is she? Like, I'm glad he showed up, but like, where is she too? So I'm not going to go too much into that. By the way, I did write a book about this. It's called The Sacred Messenger. If I was a good author, I would have a copy here so I can show it. But it's called The Sacred Messenger, and it's by Aaliyah Griffin. And it actually have the transcripts in there with all the sessions that he came through, and I discuss it. And also on my YouTube channel, if you go and you can look up The Sacred Messenger from my playlist, and I'll have the videos, the recordings there as well. If this interests you, if you're interested in stuff like this, that's available. Okay, getting back to it. The 4th time he showed up, I was looking for a miracle. I was really down on my cups. Things were just not going great. I was really trying to manifest, trying to change things, and I was just having a really hard time about it. And so I was just talking to Source, God, and I was like, listen, I'm glad you're rocking with me, and I want to rock with you, and I'm going to continue to rock with you, but I would like a miracle. I would like to know that things are going to get better, and just show me a miracle. On my very next session, after asking that, again, there was someone from South Africa, and we were done. We were at the Akashic Records, and we were going to wrap up. And I said, well, we can look at another life. We have a couple more minutes. What life do you want to look at? And she said, well, whatever they want to show me. And she was like, oh, there's this little boy here. So he came through again. And the miracle of that was that in my head, when I'm meditating, I go to a very specific place. It's a park with a bench, energetically. He took her there. I didn't tell anybody about this. She didn't know about that. And she goes, oh, we're sitting in a park at a bench. So that was my miracle, that he showed up to let me know this is real, and to have faith and to hold on. So that is just another wild and crazy story about spiritual awakenings that you probably won't hear too much about because people don't want to sound crazy. But, I have 4 witnesses that recognize my crazy. So hang in there. It gets better.